Mailbag here on the Cowboys Report from Wes. A super thanks, by the way, to producer Chris. We're like the Yankees who spend like Billy Bean. Very accurate, by the way. Also from Wes, there's no plan because the Jones family won't sell the team and will run the team how they see fit, which I'm sick and tired of seeing. Ever since Jimmy G said F off to Jerry, it's been a different franchise. I would agree. Also from Wes, this is about the Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook discussion we had, which I hate that idea, by the way. It says, it wouldn't surprise me. It is the Cowboys special. Yeah. I think it'd be a terrible idea. We get like 3 or 5 free agents total, outside guys. You can't burn one of them on an old veteran back who's not very good or explosive anymore. These questions and a few more to come here are via Super Thanks. If you're watching live, you know that you guys can super chat during shows. Super Thanks allows you to send in the donation when we're not live, just on any normal video. We always appreciate those that come in. That's why we lead off so many mailbags with the Super Thanks, because we want to show you guys some love and say thank you for doing so. From Michael, how about Elijah Mitchell for a next-nothing trade value with some upside? I think the injury risk reward is worth it for 1-year rental. As we get another back in the draft, Niners have a younger and more productive player in Jordan Mason to comfortably cut ties. Would Mitchell's contract be cheaper than a vet minimum to J.K. Dobbins? Now, I hadn't really thought about this idea. I do like it for the Cowboys, especially if you don't get the guy you want in round 2 and maybe wait till round 3 or something. Mitchell's owed just over $1 million. So it's basically potato in terms of the Mitchell contract versus the vet min to J.K. Dobbins. There's not much of a difference from that perspective. So I do like that idea of looking at the Niners' depth from that perspective. From Mark Bishop, Tom, what happens if Dak has another all-pro season and the Cowboys have no power? They can't be that poorly run of a franchise, but every year we as fans keep blaming players, but the front office is the glaring issue. I would agree. The front office is the root cause of your problems. Maybe we don't talk about it enough, or the big media doesn't, because we can't change that. There's no GM to fire, you know? It's everything else you can maybe change, and that's the way the Jones boys like it, by the way. Although I think we here, not just me, but you guys in the comments, as you should, have complained plenty about that. What happens in that scenario? You have no power. You hope he stays. You can't tag him. I don't think the vibes of them making comments about interceptions, they won't admit it. They knew those interceptions weren't Dak's fault. They knew they weren't. They knew the receivers were at the wrong depth. They knew that the drops were an issue. That Michael Gallup was just not where he needed to be on routes. Noah Brown was not where he needed to be on routes. And that's why it was off. And they're still making complaints about the interception stuff. I don't think that went over very well. Now, he loves the Cowboys. I think he wants to be here. But at a certain point, the juice ain't worth the squeeze anymore. You know? That goes both ways, too, as well. So do you want Dak Prescott as the Cowboys QB? Y for yes, N for no. Sound off in the comments section, the pinned comment of today's video. Mark, Colin Coward, Dak has won 9 games in his career when the Cowboys ran for under 100 yards. I don't agree with accuracy. I see too many throws where receivers make circus catches, balls are thrown at feet. I would always, first off, ignore the 100-yard crap. There's no better example of correlation versus causation than 100 yards or insert rushing carry number here. Do you know what happens in games in which you are winning because the quarterback played great in the first 3 quarters? They're going to run the ball late, and they're going to get to the carry and yardage figure. Every single quarterback in NFL history is better when the rushing game gets to 100 yards because it almost always means they ran the ball a lot late. Always. Now, they do need a ground game. It would be, and I think this team does need one, because when there are games in which the quarterback is off to start, this is true for most teams to be clear as well, you'd like to be able to lean on the ground game. You know what's been very true as well? This team's averaged about 3 yards a carry in losses the past 3 seasons. It's very bad. As for the circus catch and balls, yes, there are throws that are not great. But we can go compare to the overall view of quarterbacks. He's pretty much top 10 or fringe top 10 in on-target throws at all different distances. He's accurate. That's how it is for him relative to the rest of the NFL. Is he Drew Brees? No, of course not. But he is. That's how he makes up for not having an elite arm strength and being a big runner anymore. Pretty accurate. And he's smart pre-snap. For Mark, what's frustrating is he's been surrounded by talent and had top 10 Ds, still couldn't win. Best O-line running backs first 4 years with good receivers, JJ won't spend. The best O-line running back first 4 years is not, no. It's not first 4 years. First year, yes. And there has been talent, make no mistake about it. Again, folks, people get mad at me when I say it. The Romo Cowboys and the Dak Cowboys are the exact same team. Now, there are different reasons each year. You know, Dak didn't play well against the 49ers. Romo was bad against the Vikings. Remember that Vikings playoff blowout? Reminds me a lot of this Packers playoff game this past year. Romo fumbled the snap. Dez didn't catch it, even though he did. Aaron Jones found Cook along the sideline somehow, or Aaron Rodgers did. It's frustrating. You're not that far away. You haven't been for a while. And you're right. Jerry Jones won't spend. You know what every other franchise would do if they'd had the past couple years? They'd be fighting like hell to, okay, how can we squeeze the most out of this window? Where else can we spend? Cowboys go, we've hit our cash ceiling. Nope, we're done. It's very frustrating for me. The whole thing is, quarterback included. Now, today's show is made possible by Game Time. $20 off your first purchase, I should say. When you go to GameTime.co and use promo code ChatSports. Prices tend to drop as the events get closer, but maybe you get a bit anxious about, I'm trying to buy tickets the day before. Am I going to get screwed? Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets to your next big event. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but create your account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. You can go to some Rangers games. I would always advise, maybe you don't go super early. Don't go opening day. Go later on. You can even find some zone deals on Game Time. That means you pick the section. Game Time picks the seats to get big savings in the process. And with the $20 off too, it actually ends up being much, much cheaper. So go to GameTime.co and use promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. That link will again be in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's GameTime.co, promo code ChatSports. Dwayne Jackson, in regards to Jerry Jones hiring and firing coaches, is there a coach out there that he really wants, but the coach he wants will not put up with his bullshit? Who would be that coach? I would say that if the coach decides he doesn't want to be with Jerry, then Jerry says, no, I don't want you first. Kind of like and this is the thing that goes for Steven as well, to be clear, can go for I'm not breaking up with, or you're not breaking up with me, I'm dumping you first type of deal. Which kind of was what it ended up being for Jimmy, by the way. Ecuador man, over under Dak, 2 games in 9 years, weight 0 under. He's not wrong, by the way. Part of the, also my issue there is, it's not even 9 years. It's 28 years, this whole damn franchise. From Mike Jones, are ready for the Sanders is to coach and QB for Dallas. The Cowboys, to an extent, are already a circus. This would be the most ridiculous circus in NFL history. Shedeur, different conversation. Deion has said he does not want to be a head coach. And I think to an extent, it's kind of crazy that we would be excited about a 4-win college head coach. I believe in Deion. I think the things he is going to do at Colorado will end up being pretty good. I don't think his whole vibe is going to work in the NFL. The things that can potentially make him a good college head coach are not going to make him a good NFL head coach. He knows that too. So Deion to the Cowboys, I think is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. Do you want Deion Sanders as the Cowboys head coach? 1 for yes, it's a 0 for me. But go vote in the comments. Chris B, we got to have a bottom 5 front office. They suck at their job. They're pretty good draft when they listen to their executives and scouts and stuff. But when was last time they like won a trade in which they were trading somebody away? Been a long time, right? Been a long time. They haven't gotten more than like a 5th round pick in like something like Jimmy or something. It's been a long time. They don't do well in free agency. They do draft well. They ID talent well. It's the rest of it. Mark, any chance Bo Nix drops to us? Do you like him? Chance he's there. I think he should be there because I don't like him that much. I made it's a fake offense stuff. It kind of was a fake offense at Oregon, which works in college, by the way. But Bo Nix says like good backup quarterback. I don't see future top 15, top 10 NFL quarterback. I don't think he has the skill set. I don't think he has the pure arm strength and the processing and everything. He is so much better than he ever was at Auburn when I thought he was never going to make it to the NFL. I think he's a day 2 guy, but you can't have a developmental day 2 guy and Trey Lance. Like I don't think that's a good plan for Dallas. From Chris, not the producer, if the Cowboys lose Dak, should they trade for Kyler Murray? From like a pure talent perspective, it's probably one of your better options. We do know that because of how the Cowboys are as a brand, you kind of have to be built different to handle the stuff that kind of like to an extent have to be built different to handle New York media. I don't know. I don't want a franchise quarterback who they try to put in a homework clause in for. Like that scares me. Like that scares me. I worry about Kyler already kind of being fully locked in. He's obviously a more physically gifted player than Dak Prescott is, but Dak's better because he's done some of the behind-the-scenes stuff better. I would be anxious about the Kyler Murray angle. Plus, it comes back to this too, right? Well, if the Cardinals are moving on from him, it means he's not good enough for them, right? Not because they already paid him. It's not like he's choosing to leave. So then what? Why would it work for you? Why would it be different in Dallas? Who do you want? A lot of routes you can go here. As the Cowboys quarterback in 2025, sound off for me in the comments section right now. Chris B, how old is Stephen Jones? How much longer we got to wait? Turns 60 in June. Sorry. From Tyler, what's the timeline return for Jonathan Brooks? Still has rehab his ACL. Joe Biden drafted him high if his return is soon. The stuff that will continue to come out is training camp. We'll see. I remember Hendon Hooker tearing his ACL, and everyone saying he's good to go, cleared for camp, and then he spent half the year on the NFI list. So camp maybe by then. By the way, this whole nobody knows better than the Cowboys because their team doctor did the surgery. Really, guys? Do you think that doctor is hiding information from other teams? Like, I've never believed that stuff. Like, yes, he did the surgery. You trust the surgery. Dr. Dan Cooper is like the ACL, fixer. Like, that's what he does. This idea that, you know what, the Bengals passed on him, but that's because they didn't know what we know. It's all the same information. It's not like the doctor's like lying to the other team to give him to Dallas. That's not how any of this works. So I don't buy that angle. I am anxious about drafting a guy coming off an injury. I am anxious about that when you don't have much depth. It's funny. If you drafted signed Zach Moss, I'd have been more intrigued by taking Brooks because you have the built-in insurance that you don't have at the moment. And so don't miss any Cowboys news or rumors videos right here on the channel. Hit that sub button for me right now. Chris B says, good God, man. He's only 60. He looks 70 plus. We're doomed. Jerry, by the way, is 82 in October, I think. So, pretty young. Last one here from Matthew. What teams, and Matthew put in a super chat too. I think this is what he meant to put in the super chat. So, thank you, Matthew. what teams go after Dak next year? I would pay him now. Is there a possibility of him not having a strong market next year and coming back for less? So I'll try to keep this a bit short, but if the market's down, probably means something bad happened. And that very well could be injury related. So what do the Dolphins do with Tua? That's a question mark. I assume, top 3 Patriots, Commanders, and the Bears have a franchise quarterback. AFC North's probably, I'm pretty sure. Pittsburgh could be in the market again, though. I'm not paying Russ anything. AFC South. If Will Levis is bad, that team's going to try to spend money immediately. He's only a second-round pick after all. AFC West. If one of the Raiders and Broncos probably aren't going to have a franchise quarterback next season. You know who loves Dak Prescott, guys? Sean Payton loves him. I know that. I know that for a fact. He loved him when he was with these Saints. They do it. The Giants might need a franchise. Probably one of the Giants or Vikings that are needing a franchise guy. NFC South comes around. Maybe the Panthers and Saints are the market, but the Saints are probably too extreme. They've gone the wrong way being too aggressive there. Maybe Matthew Stafford calls it a career. Maybe the Seahawks move on from Geno Smith. There will be teams interested.